Good morning, everyone. A very good morning. I like to take you back to the 13th of December last year. Does anybody know here in the audience what happened on the 13th of December last year?
It's my daughter's birthday.
That's a good one. But apart from birthdays, last year on the 13th of December, it was the day after the COP28 in Dubai. It had been a week, 2 weeks actually, of heavy conversations, negotiations. It almost collapsed, as you all remember. But then, that 13th of December, I watched on my phone the news, and it said they came to a final compromise agreement. And I was actually very happy. So I went to the office, I got in, teamed up with my team, my colleagues from the sustainability team, and we started to discuss what had happened in Dubai. And that turned out to be a very interesting and insightful conversation because it learned me that there are so many different perspectives on the things that are happening today. The difficult topics we all face, climate change, how to set up the organization for the future, how to coordinate your organization towards ESG goals. It's so complex, it's so damn difficult that we all said to each other, it's just too complex to solve this on our own. And in that conversation, it was clear there were the guys like me, the half-full glass guys, optimistic, we can do this, technology will save us, it's going to be fine, now there is the agreement. And there were also the more, maybe realistic, more skeptical colleagues who said, watch out, greenwashing, this is just an agreement, nothing has happened yet. And the thing is, I think, it's not about the glass half full or half empty. We need all those different perspectives, and I think it's all up to us here in the room and at Samskip to come together to actually fill the glass. And that's a reason why we organized this day today with you. I'm very happy you're all here. We have a full house, so I'm super happy with that. But the reason today is to bring you all together, and not only to connect with us, but also that you connect with each other. It's a day I hope you all are going to learn something, that you're going to genuinely take something personally out, but also for your business. It's a day where we try to give updates around sustainability. It's also a day in which we try to be transparent, but let's be honest. Yes, we do our best, but of course we do not have all the answers, and for sure not of all the solutions. So that's really the plea, my wish for the day, that we all start doing more, that we come together, like the Beatles already 45 years or something told us to do. And again, it's great that you're all here. Logistics today faces big challenges. We all know that. We need to not only offer a good service or a product, we also need to care for. In logistics and transport, I like to tell you a little story. When Rob Wijnberg, the founder of The Correspondent, it's an independent news agency in the Netherlands, once was asked by a journalist, so Rob, what is now the best article you wrote yourself? And Rob said, well, I know that very well, I tell you. That article was about a bus driver. A bus driver that just retired after 46 of duty. And this bus driver had driven 40 to Spain. So every week, a group from Rotterdam to Spain, and every week he was bringing a group of 50 people back in his bus. And this bus driver said, well, my bus was like the world in its small. Because every time the same thing happened. There were 5 people, let's say 10%, coming into my bus, sometimes singing, enthusiastic. They were just happy to go on holidays. And they sat down, and for them, everything was all fine. But there were always also 10%, 5 people that I kind of called the complainers. and they complained about everything, and if there was nothing to complain about, they found something to complain about. It was too hot in the bus, it was too cold, we should not stop, we should stop more, they didn't like the music. Well, you get it. And then there was like 40 people in that bus that just came in, that greeted me very politely, sat down on their chairs and just waited for me to leave to Spain. Well, I feel today a bit like that bus driver. I know, and I've seen more than 5% enthusiasts already here today, so that's a good start. But honestly, I also know there's people in this room who might be a bit more, call it realistic, or skeptical, or critical. And the thing is, we need all of you, and we also need that 40 to get on our journey, to hop on our bus, to drive sustainable logistics. That's my wish for today. As said, I hope you are going to connect with each other, that you are going to take something out. We run a program for you today. My name is Florence Tegelaar. I am the head of marketing for Samskip. And this is you. The good thing is that we have managed to bring back from all the different backgrounds in our industry people, which also means that it's a great opportunity to connect with all of you. We have all the actors in the room. So if we are not going to do it, these 150 people here today, who is going to do it?
Thank you, Florence. And yes, I think Mr. Polman, he was very clear there. It's all about breaking boundaries. And when I just walked in this room earlier this morning, I was looking around, and now I'm looking in the audience, and I can't help thinking to myself, well, it should be possible to break boundaries with the group that we have here today. Such a diverse set of stakeholders, internal, external stakeholders, policymakers, suppliers, customers, infrastructure, ports. Everybody seems to be here. So I don't know if it's me, but I think that this breaking boundaries part, we did the hardest part of that. So I'm really curious to see later today what we're gonna work on. We had the networking break just before this. I saw people already talking with each other about all of the different projects that we can do. But today I will give you a little introduction or an update to what I'm doing in sustainability at Samskip. My name is Lawrence. I work as a sustainability manager for Samskip. Basically trying to keep a little bit of oversight of all of the different sustainability projects that are going on within the company. And there are a lot. You've already heard quite some interesting and cool projects before, and you're going to hear many more during the day, with, of course, the highlight being the Samskip sea shuttles that will be presented to you, I think, right after my speech. So I'll try to keep it short. This one you've seen before. It's the corporate strategy, and it's basically the essence, the beginning of the sustainability strategy. Kari-Pekka already presented it to you, so I'm not going to present it to you again. But it's good to note that sustainability really is the center of the strategy, and it's quite literally placed in the center of the picture, as our goal is to put sustainability at the center of the company. And we are going to do that, or we have been doing that, by setting ourselves ambitious and quantified targets. Basically, they're spread up in three different categories. The first one, obviously, to drastically reduce the carbon emissions that we're doing as a company, 10% in 2023, 20% in 2025, 50% in 2030. Then we want to start offering low to zero carbon solutions to our customers by, for instance, implementing this Samskip Sea Shuttle. Ultimately, the goal is to reach net zero emissions in 2040. And then thirdly, it's to take a little bit of a more broad perspective to sustainability. It's not just about carbon emissions, it's about creating a company that's ready for the future. And we need a culture that promotes that. and that celebrates sustainability. We have set ourselves 2 targets for EcoVadis, which forces us to take a little bit of a more broad approach to sustainability, and we want to reduce our empty mileage, so that also in the transport planning part of our business, we're really considering and keep considering sustainability. But as you can see, this is still largely focused on CO2. So while we've met our first target for 23, 10% CO2 reduction, and we've met our targets for EcoVadis Gold in 2023, we also started to think, okay, is this everything that we want to do? Is this it? And the question is no, this is not everything. Because to really become a truly sustainable company, you should not just look at carbon emissions, even if it's your major issue, obviously. You need to start asking yourself what kind of topics matter to us. And usually, and I think this is also the case for many of your companies here, you will start doing what's called double materiality assessment. Basically, you will ask yourself and your colleagues, your stakeholders, internal and external, what do you think matters to us? What are the topics within sustainability that you think we should make an impact in? And we did that as well. Last year, we conducted our first full double materiality assessment. We spoke to our colleagues, we spoke to you, maybe some people here in the audience that we've spoken to. We did research, and we came to the conclusion that the topics for us in S&G, environmental governance, and social are the following. Okay, so now we have a list of topics. What does that mean? Well, it means that this is the focus area, because if you're just considering all the different sustainability topics, it gets so overwhelmingly broad that you do not know where to start. And this double materiality assessment is that first step where you define, okay, this is important to us. This will be our focus point for the coming years. And because you involve your stakeholders, internal and external, it's also a strategy that people agree with within your company. So it's not something that is pressed down from the top. It's actually something that's growing organically, bottom up. This is the basis. And it's the basis for what we call our compass, the 2030 compass. And this compass covers all of the different topics that we've defined as material in this double materiality assessment. And what we are going to do is we are going to develop our sustainability strategy, our policies, our data reports and measurements, and most importantly, of course, our actions based on these topics. And this all leads to a complex document. It all gets complex very quickly. But the goal is, of course, to keep it simple. And I try to keep it simple in this overview. But this is basically an indication of what that would look like. It's already getting quite complex, I'm aware. But you will have the different material topics on the one side. And for all of these different topics, you start filling in the sheet here. So we have actions, we have KPIs, and then we have ambitions for all of these different topics. And by taking a structured approach like this, we strive to have a sustainability or ESG strategy or compass that touches on all of the most material topics that we have. Maybe to zoom in on one, and it was already mentioned before, is the science-based targets. Science-based targets is basically a scientific way to set your carbon reduction pathway. We have committed to the science-based targets 2 years ago, I think it was, and couple of months ago, we have finally submitted our targets for validation to the Science Based Targets Initiative. And what it now means is that we're going to follow this pathway with about a 50% reduction in 2030 and a net zero reduction in 2040 to be aligned with what climate scientists say should be done to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. And for us, this is an important one because it's a formalized form of committing to something. This is not a reduction pathway that we thought of ourselves. This is actually what science says should be done. So, then the hard work is done. We have the strategy, we have the policies, we have the science-based targets, we have a sustainability report, carbon calculator. So the only thing we still have to do is follow this pathway. So you would say that's close to done. But maybe I'll have to be one of those realists in the bus and show you this slide as well, because this is an estimation of the carbon roadmap if we look at our vessels. And we're starting in 2020 with 100%, and you see slowly we're adding more and more initiatives to the list: biofuels, hydrogen, methanol, carbon capture systems, shore power. Basically everything you can think of is on this list. And as you see, if we follow this very ambitious list of initiatives, we're actually going to reach a 60.6% emission reduction in our vessel fleet. But what it means is that for Samskip as a company, we're only looking at about 30% of CO2 reduction. So that means that even if we are very, very, very ambitious, and even if we have everything in place and everything works out, we are still not there yet for the Samskip group. And that is the realistic story to tell. And that is also, I think, the call to action here is to emphasize that this is not something that Samskip can do alone. That was already mentioned a couple of times before. But it also shows that we really, really, really need to pace up on these initiatives, and that doing as much as you can isn't necessarily the same as doing enough to reach the goals. And I'm already over my time here, but to delay the program by 1 more minute, I think is okay. This is a slide basically saying that we want to help our customers to proceed, to go forward. And yes, we will start offering our customers low to zero carbon transport solutions, but what we can also offer the customers or other partners in our value chain is information, is data, is knowledge. Also part of the reason we're hosting this event, of course, today. But carbon footprinting and data sharing is one of the most important things that we are working on within sustainability in Samskip. And we have quite some interesting new developments coming up soon, one of which is a carbon emissions feature in our customer portal for the customers to see real time their carbon emissions when they're moving with us. And we've already did quite some work already internally also to calculate scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions for the whole Samskip group. Because we're on this journey together, and this is something that has been said already quite a lot of times today, but it's true. We are all in this room together, and as I started my presentation, I think everybody here, everybody who needs to be here, is here to make the difference. So I would also like to ask you what role you will play in this roadmap. Because on the picture it ends here, but in reality it will continue for a little while before we reach this target. And well, Are is going to tell you more about the sea shuttle part, but there's more investments coming up. There's more projects. There's a lot more in the pipeline. So what's next? What role will you play? And I think finally to speak with Samuel here, we want to make the impossible possible, and to do that we will need you. That is the conclusion of today. So thank you all very much, and I look forward to speaking to you after the lunch that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Laurens.
And
What a great quote. Thank you.
thanks.
And well, I think you presented both ambition and the confidence that we can do it, Laurens, but also indeed the realism of those people in the bus. And as said, we both need those people. We also need people that make the impossible possible, right? To come from 30% to 100%, yeah, we will need to find some things that we might have not thought about yet. And there is somebody in the room, I think, is making the impossible possible. His name is Are Graten. I invite you to the stage. Are is our lead in Norway and Sweden, but yeah, he's also handling many other topics. And I can say you're one of the founding fathers of the Sea Shuttle. Great that you want to present your journey on this topic. Are Graten.
Thank you. Okay, I'm often being invited to the stage represented as the end user of hydrogen. I'm not. That's actually all of you in the room. We are the end users of hydrogen. We are building a ship that is going to be fueled by hydrogen, but if nobody's using that ship, no hydrogen. So we are not the end users, we're the facilitators. And back to Lawrence's last page, it's all about us in this room to make it happen. We are just facilitating. My name is Are. I have been working for the company for now 9 years. 5 of those years I have been driving a project internally. And it all started back in 2018. A group of people came to my office with a nice PowerPoint in their laptop, showing me this nice thing. It was going to be zero emission, autonomous. It was going to do its own cargo handling in all the ports. It was going to travel between Poland and Norway, along the coast of Sweden. And this is the menu that I was presented with from the consultants that brought it to the table. Major cost savings, sustainable advantage, top team, major partners, high return on investment. I mean, what's not to like? So being the optimist on the bus, I of course listened carefully for many hours. They came back a week later telling me again, and I thought, we have to do this. So I took it back to my colleagues in Rotterdam, and I showed them the nice presentation, and they go, hydrogen? Nah, not gonna work. Anyway, we worked our way through the list, and during these 5 years, we visited all of these nice menus. Autonomy, great. The technology is there. We could perhaps do it tomorrow, but expensive, a bit far-fetched, and as long as we are not allowed to drive autonomous cars on the streets, I don't see us driving autonomous container ships in the international waters. So we have made it, we are making an autonomous ready ship. So when the world is ready, we are ready, but it's not there as of today. Zero emission, however, very important. As we've heard today, it's all about reducing emissions. Again, technology is there, it's just never been built into a ship. We have ended up at, I mean, we're all talking about different fuels and how to get there and so on. We have ended up at hydrogen. I'll get back to that. Major cost savings, that's the one big red thing here, because as we've heard today, it's going to cost us to become sustainable. It's just a matter of fact. In order to reduce the cost, we just have to change the way we do things. So if we can change the way we do things, we may be able to reduce that cost, but it's going to cost more. It's just a fact. And whoever says it's not is lying. Disruptive technologies, yes, it's disruptive, but I already see today PowerPoints and pictures very similar to our vessels, so the copycats are already out there. So it's disruptive for 5 minutes. And that's why I think what the decision that Samskip made a little bit over a year ago to go ahead with this, at least we're first in line. There will be others. If we are successful, there will be more. That's for sure. Sustainable advantage, I don't have to go very much into that. It's obvious. Scalable business model, yes. We have a design of a ship. We can make it smaller, we can make it bigger, we can make it with different kinds of fuels. It's very flexible. We even have options for 2 more in the current contract. We just need to find a trade and some customers that wants to bring it in. Top team, no doubt. I could have never done this on my own. I've had external people around me, internal people around me for 5 years. I couldn't have done it alone. Major partners, yes, very important. It's just that they come and go. When we started this project in 2018, we had a number of, exclusive partners. One fell off, another fell off, one came in. So partners will change, not only in private life, but also business life. And then this one, which I know that our shareholders are, of course, very anxious about. And we were talking about bravery here. I think that's a very good example of what we see here today. We have bravery. We don't know. We have an Excel spreadsheet that gives us some promising numbers, but we don't know. So we went from this, I would say, Star Wars sort of thing into a real ship, which is starting to build today. Then, along this, while reading the menu, I'm in Poland to Norway, along the Swedish coast. Mini terminals, autonomous cargo handling. Why don't we concentrate on a mature trade where we have volume, we have customers, we have a government in Norway that is very much promoting, the zero emission and the hydrogen. So we said, okay, let's look at Rotterdam-Oslo. 1,200 nautical miles of sailing. We can do that round trip in 7 days, as long as we spend as little time in port as possible. And how do we spend as little time as port in possible? We need to standardize the size of the containers. We can't do all. We have to concentrate on short sea cargo. We can't go to 6, 7 different deep sea terminals in Rotterdam and wait for big ships to finish their operations. We just have to spend less time in port and more time in the water so we can sail slower, save energy. At the same time, we designed the ship at a size tailor-made for this trade in terms of number of containers capacity. And this way, we will save up to 50% of energy for a similar sized vessel in that trade route today. And only when we've saved that 50% of energy, we can turn it into green, which is then hydrogen. So I would say a tailor-made ship for this trade and route, and there's probably those 5% on the bus that will say it will never work. But in this trade, and there's quite a lot of bright heads, also engineers, not just salespeople like myself, that has gone through this, dozens of times. And we believe it so much that we start to cut the steel today. So what are the key learnings during these 5 years? I think the number one there, I think the consultants that came to me in the first place, they were very enthusiastic, very ambitious. They drew a nice picture. I'm among the 5% on the bus that thinks optimistic. So I adopted that enthusiasm and ambition. I brought that back into the, I would say, rather skeptic Rotterdam. I even convinced some Dutch people that this was a good idea. Network and team. Personally, I've been in the industry for 30 years, whereof 20 of them in Norway. I know a lot of people. I have reached out to a lot of those people that I know, different stakeholders in the industry. They have helped this to materialize. And also the internal team, for sure, management supporting it. Technical and commercial competence, which we find both outside of the company and inside of the company. We are lucky enough to have our own in-house technical management in Navtech in Samskip. That helps a lot, that you don't have to go and buy consultancy hours to make it happen. We can actually get that in-house. Incentives. The Norwegian Ministry of Climate is having a fund where they give out money to those who are brave enough to start projects. 2 years ago, in June, we were awarded 15 million euros for this project to build the first 2 ships on hydrogen. I think that helped us make the investment decision. Our owner can confirm that later, maybe. And this, number 5, we have an owner with a vision and a mission, and the business case pretty much states that it's going to be more expensive not to build these ships than to build the ships in the long term. So let's hope we're right. Market demand, I mean, 5 years ago, there was a bit, talking to customers, they were not so interested. But today, we hear it here today, the customers say it themselves. They want this, and some of them even say they're going to use it when it comes. I don't have ink on paper yet, but we'll get there. Legislation. We have to make it the alternative of not doing this more expensive. If we're going to do this competitively, it needs to be penalized to not do it. It's not enough to give incentives. You also have to penalize those who doesn't. It's just a fact. So it's not one or the other, but it's the two in combination. And with that, this ship, hopefully, in 2 years from now, will sail in here, into Valhafen, on hydrogen, 0 emission, and hopefully all of us can be there and watch it come in and fill it with your cargo.
So we have seen Rotterdam, we have seen Oslo, and now, Bradley, I look to you. I really hope this is going to work, to make a connection with the wharf in India. They told me I had to say, hello, India. Hello, India. Can you hear us?
Hello. Hello, Florence. Yes? Hello. Yes, we can hear you. Good day, Rotterdam. Good morning to you. Greetings from a very sunny Cochin. We are here today to witness the steel curtain ceremony of the first of the sea shuttles. And before we proceed with that, we would like, on behalf of Samskip, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Cochin Shipyard for taking on this project and for the excellent cooperation that we have with you. It is not easy to build such a revolutionary ship, but together we are very well on the way into achieving this. And this steel cutting event today is a great testimony of that. So thanks a lot for your cooperation, and we are very much looking forward to continuing on this path. And with that sincere expression of gratitude, I would like to invite the next speaker to the stage, the chairman of Cochin Shipyard, Mr. Madhu S. Nair.
Mr. Aaron Hollebrands, the team from Samskip, fellow directors on the board of CSL, my dear friends. Indeed, as was mentioned, a very remarkable vessel and a remarkable day for Cochin Shipyard. Because what we are doing here is a little bit of building the dream. This is a hydrogen fuel cell, hydrogen fuel powered feeder container vessel, 365 high cube containers. And once these vessels hit the market, probably I think people like Coke can indeed have zero Coke, not just on the health point, but truly from the emission point of view. First of all, I wish to place on record regards, thanks to the entire Samskip group from Netherlands, from Norway, the entire group, Chairman Olafur Olafsen and Mr. Karipeka, the entire team which has been involved, who has reposed faith in Cochin Shipyard and has placed his order, because it's not every day that you actually place an order for a first of the type vessel on a shipyard sitting in Europe and place an order in a country like India. Let me start with the assurance that we will indeed build good ships because the team is committed. And the team is not just about Cochin Shipyard. The team is about Naval Dynamics. The team is about Samskip. The team is about DNV. It's about Cochin Shipyard. And together, all of us have vested interest in making sure that these projects are showcased as you are celebrating your Sustainability Day. For us, in India, the National Hydrogen Mission, and how we want to align with the best in class in the world, get the early mover advantages both on the clientele side, on the business side, as well as on the technology side. So these are very important projects for us. I just want to mention that Cochin Shipyard has just launched its first indigenously developed hydrogen fuel cell passenger ferry. And this is aligned again with the national aspirations, the global aspirations, our country's commitments towards net zero. And it's very important to note that our hydrogen fuel cell vessel was actually flagged off by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. So the kind of connect you have for a small ferry, but hydrogen fueled, and when it's connected with the best in class in the world, when the Prime Minister of a large country like India deems it fit to flag off that vessel, I can see the warmth and the connect that will be there with an organization with Samskip, where I know for sure that the countries you operate in, the clientele you talk to, and the kind of funding and support which the Norwegian government, through its Enova schemes, have actually supported these projects. For us, these are very, very important projects. And for Cochin Shipyard, again, our connect with West Europe, especially Norway, the Norwegian technologies, and this is yet another new step. Troyvind, my good friend, is here. And we have friends from other clients and relations across the world here. Just by wishing the project great luck, good luck, we have a formal method of how we cut steel, because this is a very spiritual country. And whatever we do, we invoke nature, we invoke Almighty. I'm sure that it will bring in success, good luck, and ultimately good business to Samskip. Let me wish, on behalf of entire Cochin Shipyard, let me wish the project all the best. And on behalf of the entire workforce, the entire workers, supervisors, and officers, I, as CMD of Cochin Shipyard, let me assure you, we'll leave no stone unturned in delivering some fine ships. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Bradley? Yeah. How cool was that? How cool was that? And what a... I'm trying to kind of digest the words. We're wishing you success, good luck, and good business. And indeed, he already said something about India being a very spiritual country. Again, we are trying to connect. They told us, Florence, give us 1 minute. They are now walking to another place, and they have set up this, as they call it, coconut ceremony to wish indeed the ship good luck and good business. So, Bradley, there we go again.
coconut breaking is also a part of the program, which symbolizes the offering to Lord Vignesh for removing all obstacles and hurdles in the project and to seek blessings for all goodness and prosperity to ensure successful completion of the project.
Wow. Then there is one last part that needs to happen, but the connections go pretty well, eh? So I now have the confidence that that is also going to work. The final steel cutting of our sea shuttle is going to take place. I would like to invite Olafur Olafsson, our chairman of the supervisory board, to the stage. It was said already in different presentations, you need somebody, an owner with a vision, with courage and a mission. I think, Olafur, you made this possible, so I hope you want to say some words.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you all for being here with us today. You were not correct that I made it possible. We have it in our slogan, together we make things happen. We made it possible. And there are a lot of individuals, companies here today, and thank you all of you for your great support in financing, in designing the ship, and making it happen. I cannot press that button
I will give you this button.
without thanking some of our key people. I would like to thank you, Kari-Pekka, Are, Kristin Albertsson, Finance, Erik Hofmeister, Jeroen. This is just the beginning of a long list of people who really made this happen. This is for us part of a dream come true. And we have always had this slogan since 2006. Together we make things happen. We truly believe in that. We have added on to that now, every journey accounts. And we are now beginning a very, very important journey. At this moment, at this meeting, counts in that. I would like also really thank the Norwegians. In all honesty, it is the Norwegians, the Norwegian government, and the Norwegian individual who has pushed this project through. And this wonderful young lady will be carrying Norwegian flag. Sorry to inform you. So, but it's a beautiful flag. So, and I also want to tell you that Samskip's team is very, very excited about this project. They all realize that we are on a journey. We are in a place where very many other companies would like to be. But we have said there are three types of companies. There are those who talk about what happened, those who want to what's happening, are those who do make things happen. And we want to be that category. And what we are doing now is final push.
Exactly, this is a very special button. We got it out of India, and I was told if Olafur presses this button, it says yes, then something magical is going to happen in India. So let's see whether it works.
I'm ready. Florence.
You can go. Yes, please.
2 and 3.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
cutting ceremony of ship 38 is over.
Florence, thank you ever so much for arranging this wonderful event. Thank you all for coming, and I suppose we are moving on to something more easy, huh?
It is, it is. We promised you also a good lunch. I can imagine there are some questions, maybe, around the sea shuttle. We have Erik Hofmeester here, unfortunately, actually, because he had to be in India, but fortunately for us. Is there anybody who wants to know something about the project? Some specific keys? If there is a question, you can also reach out to Erik. Maybe Erik, can you stand up, please, so we all see you, and also give an applause to Erik here. Thanks, Erik. If there's no questions, then it's absolutely fantastic. We are on time, and I just want to give the final minutes to Kari-Pekka to say some words.
Thank you, Florence. It's exciting, actually, to follow the steel cutting like this. I have been in a few of the steel cuttings, but never ever been on the top floor of the hotel to see it before. So this is something new, and also understood that this was also first time I see actually a steel cutting taking place in India. So I'm very excited to see what will be the reads and the things that you do when you have the launch of the vessel, if those were already the things that they were actually applying over there. It has been really a great morning today with all of you. As you have seen, we have had a really fortunate situation to have many different presentations from many different stakeholders, and I think that was something that was said here in the beginning, and as Florence showed us the first, let's say, the pie of us, who do we represent here, and this is so great that we are here representing so many different stakeholders, and this is what Lawrence, you mentioned yourself, that this is already breaking the boundaries. So this is absolutely thanking you all of that, taking effort and coming here for today and to sharing this special moment with us today. There are though so many people I would need to also thank regarding the sea shuttle, and it's been a lot said, but I think that we will save those thanks also to the, let's say, the coming events that we will have for the same ship. There were a couple things that I've actually noted down while we discussed here today, and would like to actually also to raise a little bit of one other topic which was not discussed today, because this is all about the decarbonization, and I would like to also address that I've seen now some reports, and I've been participating some of the events where actually it's been told quite clearly that the decarbonization is not going to be just enough for us if we want to be sustainable. So it means also that we need to capture the carbon for the, let's say, visible future that we know now. There is not enough of these kind of green fuels for us to go forward for getting all of us getting to the zero emissions. So we have to understand that the methanol, for instance, and there are a lot of proofs of that the green methanol which is there is not enough for us to supply for all those projects that we need for the future. So it is equally important then for us to think about the capturing the carbon that we are actually emitting, and that actually brings me to the one of the nicest slogans that I've learned and heard not so long ago by actually, if I'm right, it was actually invented by the Lawrence himself, and I've been taking the liberty of using it a lot. But the greenest energy is always the energy that we save, and no matter what form of energy we are using it, but we should always remember that if and when we are happy and lucky to have the hydrogen-powered vessel, we need to also be mindful that we save that hydrogen, because that hydrogen can be also used for some other applications, so that will never go away even we will make our transition into the greener, let's say, the fuels in the future. So, being said these things, I really thank you for participating this morning with us.